Welcome back, everybody. We're on part 2 of episode 144, and that means it's time for the hot tag.
Hot tags!
Ouch. Hot tags. Fucking
Now that
birds.
was kind of hot. Shit.
Yeah. Psst in the background. Maybe I'll do that one day. I'll just start adding a bunch of weird sound effects. I used to have that little crumbling fire crack at the beginning of this, but that became too much of a pain in the ass to work with. And people don't really like hearing that at the beginning of it either.
Add a Pac-Man noise.
Yeah. So, a couple of stuff to talk about for this week. Let's go through a pretty simple one here. Kevin Steen signs his WWE deal. He actually signed it a couple weeks back, but they officially announced it and had his picture of him shaking Triple H's hand and Triple H having this really shit-eating grin on his face. I don't know too much about Kevin Steen. He doesn't look like he would be somebody that I would have expected to get a WWE deal, but I'm hearing good things about him, so cool. Same kind of thing as Prince Fergal Devitt. If people like him and if WWE sees him as something good for the future, then I'm all for it. You can never have too many good people in WWE. Miguel, what do you think about Kevin Steen?
I know he's talented. I've seen promos that he's done. He's great on the mic. My only problem though is nothing about him looks like the typical WWE wrestler. And while that is great in some cases, he just looks too much to me like an indie wrestler. You know, the stuff he wears, his body build. It's just I wonder if that's going to hold him back. You know, it's one of those things to where they're either going to have to really he's either going to have to really trim up and find something that he can find an attire that fits him, or they're going to have to really craft a gimmick around him that fits that. But I don't know. He's got the talent. He may be able to rise to the top, but it's going to take some doing. And I wonder if I don't know what they see in him, because there are so many other talented guys out there that would probably fit in with WWE more. But good for Kevin Steen. He made it to the big time.
Drew, what do you think about Kevin Steen?
Kevin, the Steen. I don't know. I don't care. He's not going to make it. He's fat. And that's about it. If you know what I'm saying.
Sean, your thoughts on Kevin Steen?
Never heard of him.
You know what I'm saying?
And Peyton?
Well, going off of what Miguel was saying, he definitely does have just a Joe Schmo look to him. In fact, my favorite thing about this whole situation was right after he had his last match at Ring of Honor, Matt Hardy tweeted out a picture of him with just some random fat fan with a neck beard, and he was like, "We're gonna miss you, Kevin Steen." It's really great, but I haven't watched too much of his. I'm not the biggest Ring of Honor fan in the world, but everything I've seen has been impressive. He's got a big following, so tremendous pickup. And for years, WWE was accused of and was absolutely guilty of a big thing that was a major factor in the death of WCW, and that was not creating stars for the future. I mean, that whole period from like 2006 to 2011, maybe, I would say, they were not creating any stars for the future. Finally, they're getting out of that habit, especially with this NXT program they had. They have a whole crop of people that is going to carry the future on that NXT show now, but a lot of them are starting to be called up or have already been called up or will be soon. And I've been kind of worried about what's going to happen to that show because I really enjoy watching NXT. Well, now I know they're having guys like Kenta and Fergie and Kevin Steen are going to be taking the place in that show. And eventually they'll make their way to the main roster as well. The future is very bright for WWE, I got to say.
Well, that's what happens when you drop John Laurinaitis as your talent relations guy and bring in Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
Still, imagine if they brought JR back.
Oh, JR is the reason why we have guys like Lesnar, Cena, Batista, that great
Jack Swagger.
Yeah, that great late 90s, early 2000s Russia talent.
Yeah, but could he still do it again now? That's the thing. I think it's a big thing going forward.
I don't care as long as he's on the fucking commentary booth. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, John Laurinaitis is the reason why we had guys like Jackson Andrews and Ricky Ortiz.
And Dolph Ziggler. The Ziggelmeister.
No, that was I think a JR pickup.
Oh yeah. You always forget the Spirit Squad. I think it's something he wants to forget about.
And the caddy for Chavo.
The caddy for Chavo.
Yeah.
Hey, we all got to start somewhere.
You know that Dolph
Miguel?
Ziggler was a JR pickup because he has a collegiate background.
Right.
JR
Yeah.
loved his collegiate background, guys.
A lot of them do good in
He loved being able to say that the person's like an all-around athlete. You know, how many times did he just go nuts over Shelton Benjamin,
I think
the
that-
best
I think
pure
that-
athlete in WWE?
I think that's a Mid-South thing. I think back in in that territory, that's what they basically looked for, were college athletes.
Don't blame them.
Insert joke about Mid-South.
Mid-South.
Okay, let's see here. WWE Network has launched worldwide except for the UK. Sean, I know that you're pissed about this. What do you think?
Meh. I vented. You know, I can't lose my temper at the moment because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I'm extremely pissed off about it because I wanted to watch SummerSlam at a reasonable time. Because spoiler alert, SummerSlam is gonna suck absolute balls.
What time does it? What time does it play over there? Like 3 a.m.
1 a.m. and it finishes at 4.
You could always pay $50 instead of $10 for it.
What's the transfer rate? What is that, like 10 Scottish dollars or Welsh dollars?
Welsh dollars, but the sterling,
The euro.
pound sterling. We don't accept euros.
Miguel, listen,
we
it's
do.
okay. It's okay. He's Welsh. He doesn't understand.
Fuck you.
I'm
Drew
Welsh.
Black.
I didn't.
You're
know
Welsh
that.
too? Damn.
Yeah, I did. I was like, who are you talking about, me or him? Because I'm Welsh. I didn't know that.
Welsican.
Yeah.
So, if it comes to UK over the next few weeks or the next few months or whatever like that, you are gonna pick it up, Sean?
My brother will pick it up, and I will steal his account information.
Fair enough. Drew, what do you think about
I don't
the
get why it's in Singapore. Why is it in Singapore? Who the fuck's gonna buy in Singapore?
Singaporeans?
WWE is in Singapore. Who the fuck watches it?
Hey, maybe they got a huge market there. Drew, what do you think about the network's launch?
Well, people have been complaining about how the WWE Network isn't in other countries. I mean, I know about it because JBL mentions it every Raw about how it is coming to the UK on October 7th. Because you remember, he has a place in Barbados. Or Bermuda, my bad. But, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to see how many people buy the network elsewhere now. Because they want to hit million by the end of the year. I believe that was their goal, and I think they can now. And hey, Sean, guess what? Fuck you.
Hey, Drew Black.
Did you know?
Please.
Well, listen. I just want you to know you will get the WWE Network on October 17th. That's what it
For
comes to.
only $9.99 a month.
What?
Which
$9.99? Wait, $999?
£6
What?
62 pence, I think.
Pence.
Did you say 62
Sterlings.
pants? Jesus.
Pence, dude.
Peyton, what do you think about the network launching in other countries? I mean, obviously this is not a negative in any way, but any kind of a backlash that could happen out of this?
No, unless there's a really exaggerated cost. But seems like WWE's being very, very good with their money right now, and I don't think that they would take this venture if they didn't think it was going to pay off in some way. People are giving WWE a lot of flack right now for what they're doing. I mean, they're just being a smart business company, and it sucks that a lot of these people have to go. I don't even think we mentioned last week, Mark Eaton was a guy who was let go, who was a standard ringside employee that's been with them for almost 20 years. It's crazy to think that a guy even like him is going to be cut during these budget cuts. But yeah, I got pyro. I don't know what's going on. Some neighbors are going nuts with fireworks right now. It's freaking 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. What are they celebrating?
It's just Wade Barrett in the background. He's just going, boom. He's got nothing better to do.
He's letting me know that he's coming back soon.
Yeah. It's because they know
He's
we're
in
recording
October.
Smark Out moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Payton.
I think it's the people in other countries celebrating that they got the WWE Network now.
Yeah. The fireworks in the sky say screw Sean Walker.
Listen, I think the network is a fantastic value. I've shilled for them enough times. I think people are used to hearing it. But if you're on the fence about getting it, and now this can go out to our international listeners as well, it's worth it for the pay-per-views alone. And if you watch it any other point during the month, that's just a bonus. I don't watch it every day. I don't watch it anywhere near as much as I watch my Netflix. And I pay about the same thing. But you know what? For the time I am watching it, I feel like I'm getting much more value out of it. It's nice having easy access to anything I pretty much want to watch as far as pay-per-views or whatever else in full HD. I mean, yeah, you could fuck around with YouTube, but you're gonna take a while to find the right thing you want. You're not finding someone with a podcast or just a plain still image sitting there, and it was just kind of some kind of trick to try to get you to click on some other link.
Or when it's footage from one of the WWE games.
Oh god, that's so stupid. I hate that so much.
So you don't have to put up with that crap anymore. It's well worth the value, and it's not perfect. They have a lot more stuff they need to get on there, and they're gradually adding to the library. I think this is a great product that they have out there, and I really hope this is a success, and especially so on the international market, because we don't deserve. I mean, other countries deserve to see what WWE has to offer. It shouldn't just be for us. You know, wrestling should be a worldwide thing. And most of the international brands I see are not very good. You know, top companies are still wrestling in gyms and stuff like that. So let's let them get easy exposure to WWE. Thumbs up all around.
Speaking of the pay-per-views, which pay-per-view is on October?
Hell in a Cell?
Hell in a Cell.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, I'll probably pick it up just so I don't have to stay up all day and watch that.
They'll probably try to sweeten the pot by putting like Sheamus in the main event. It's like, hey, you UK listeners, we're putting Sheamus in the main event. Isn't that gonna get you to watch the WWE Network? Huh?
Fella!
What they'll do is they'll buy out TNA because that contract with Spike ends in October, and they'll buy the global championship, and then that'll be the whole thing that's in Hell in a Cell, the global title.
No. You just bring back the European Championship, Tony. Wouldn't you enjoy that?
Fuck the European title.
You know, because NXT is on the network as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Do I have to watch that there and then, or can I watch?
No, you can watch it on demand. You can watch it on demand. You can watch it live. I think it's live Thursdays at 8 o'clock, I believe it is. But after it airs, you can watch it on demand at any time.
And it's usually better than Raw as well. And 2 hours less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 positives.
Bite-sized hour of wrestling. It's well worth it.
I'll be able to sleep.
Miguel, anything else you want to throw out there about this network launch?
Well, first off, I'd like to point out that the network is available for only $9.99 a month.
$999? Damn.
Yeah, what a steal. I just wanted to throw
Rude.
that out
That
there.
joke wasn't funny the first time you said it.
Yeah, third
Well,
time's the charm, though.
Yeah, well, it's like WWE. If the third time doesn't work, 13 times will definitely work.
Claire Lynch! What?
To be fair, $9.99 is over as fuck right now.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, it's I can kind of understand in a way why they might be delaying the UK release. I mentioned this before during the break. I have a feeling they're probably trying to still work out some type of deal like they did with Canada, where they can probably get the network on some type of UK cable feed. It wouldn't surprise me in that regard. I'm gonna say it right now. I have a feeling that where they're at right now with the whole 700,000 subscribers thing, with the network launching, it would not shock me if they hit 1 million buys by the end of the year. I think by the end of the year they're going to hit that 1 million mark that they've been wanting to. Maybe just barely, but I think with this expansion globally, they're definitely going to hit that.
Yeah, I think if they don't, they're fucked.
Yeah, if they can't hit 1 million going global, then yeah, I think they really need to start upping the ante. I'm still waiting for them to really close that gap in terms of bringing the main shows over to the network. Because like I said, isn't it still a month in advance or 2 months where that they post up recent episodes of Raw and SmackDown?
Something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, if they're gonna really sell this network, they really ought to close that gap even more.
We also have one other hot tag here, and this will tie into what we've been talking about for the past week or so, and a little bit more information. Konnan had gone on Twitter many times in the past and complained about different people and, aired grievances about different stuff. He did it again, and this time he said that apparently Layla is a pain in the ass to work with. He didn't really say why. He didn't say who thinks she's a pain in the ass. Just said that a lot of people complain about her. And, of course, you can take that with a grain of salt. Maybe he doesn't like her, and he's just saying that. Maybe some other people don't like her, and they're passing that information on to him. Maybe it's true. I don't know. I would kind of assume that maybe it isn't necessarily true, because she's stuck around for a long time. And if she was a real pain in the ass, she would have gotten fired. or they would have just let her go, or all the people that have come and gone since she has been in WWE and she's still sticking around. I don't buy it. But he also says that there's rampant racism in WWE, and it ties into not only Alberto Del Rio's situation, but also Rey Mysterio's. And Mysterio is thinking about leaving, and he could end up going to AAA. He could end up possibly going to TNA. Um, there's a weird situation going on now with this kind of stuff. Mysterio has been deadlocked in this contract dispute where, of course, he wants more money or to leave, and WWE wants to get more money out of him, but there's this weird clause in the contract where if he's been injured for too long of a time, they can extend it. I'm not the type of person to ask for that kind of legal jargon shit. I don't read terms of service kind of things and stuff, and I probably wouldn't understand it even if I tried. But as far as like the racism in WWE goes, we've heard accusations of this for the longest time for various different races. I mean, we've heard that all of the Asian wrestlers that come in there are always saddled with, the super racist gimmicks. We've heard, that the black wrestlers can't get a world title. We've heard the story with Del Rio and why he slapped that member backstage, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, a lot of people have gone to bat saying that that's not true, and a lot of people have said that it is true. So I don't know what to think. But in this situation, I gotta say, Konnan's probably wrong about Layla. Del Rio is probably half in the right, half in the wrong. And Mysterio, if he wants to fucking leave, let him fucking leave. I'm tired of him. I don't think that he's worth the money. Peyton, what do you think about all this kind of stuff? We talked about it a little bit last week, but has any of bit of your opinion changed, or what?
No, not at all. Del Rio should have thicker skin, and yeah, there's a status that he could have defended himself there. I mean, if this was just two guys in a bar and the guy attacked the guy, I don't think anyone would have thought anything less of him for it. They would have thought he was completely justified. But Del Rio is in a special situation. He cannot lose his cool like that with people that's not like, on his performance. Wrestlers cannot get in fight with people on the streets anymore. They get in big trouble for that. And they especially cannot get in fights with people in the company. If he had a problem with the guy, he should have taken some type of action with the higher ups, gone to them, told this guy, and he probably would have gotten fired. Then Del Rio would still be there with a job, and who knows, maybe he'd actually still have something going on in his future. I can't deny that there probably is some racism in the backstage areas of wrestling. In fact, I'm very confident that there is. I mean, this is a very, very seedy world. I mean, if you go and do your research about the backstage passing around of drugs, the sexual harassment scandals, not just on women, but on the men as well, absolutely disgusting. It almost makes me not want to be a fan once I learn about all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure it goes on. In the case of Layla, I don't know what the hell Konnan's getting all butthurt about. Layla has always come across as a total sweetheart. I've always heard nothing but great things about her. And it's hard to believe, but like Layla and the Bellas are essentially the veteran divas on that roster.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, I guess to a lesser extent Natalia too. But she's been around there a long, long time. She's still featured semi-regularly, so I have no doubts that she's just fine backstage and pretty well liked both by management and the people that are there. He's just getting butthurt. Everything else, I mean, we could spend hours talking about the level of race, the treatment of people like Booker T for WrestleMania 18. But then, you got the other side of the coin like Lashley's. It's a touchy subject. I know a lot of people have very passionate opinions about it. So, I mean, maybe it's something we can do another day. But I think it's overblown in a lot more cases than it needs to be. And this is one of those.
What do you think about Mysterio?
Fuck him. He should be happy to get whatever contract he could still get for what he can put out there. I mean, the guy comes back like fucking every 8 months or so, has 2 matches, and then he's freaking hurt again and out. And those matches usually suck, and there's no point to him whatsoever. When was the last time he was able to wrestle without a freaking t-shirt on? Fuck. I won't miss it.
Sean, what do you think about the whole 3 people that's being talked about here? Layla, Del Rio, and Mysterio.
Copy and paste Payton's answer with a Welsh accent.
Anything else?
But yeah, fuck Del Rio, fuck Mysterio. and I'd fuck Layla. There you go.
Miguel?
In terms of the ADR situation, since I wasn't on last week and really couldn't talk about it, uh, it's it's a no-win situation for either guy. On the one hand, the little social media punk that decided to say something about ADR probably deserved to get slapped. On the other hand, Del Rio really could have picked a better way to deal with this, at least at first. I mean, if it was a situation where he went to management and management did nothing and then the guy kept pushing, then yeah, I'd say slap the taste out of his mouth. But he really should have at least tried to go the legit route before taking it into his own hands. Like I said, it's a no-win situation with either person. I can't root for what ADR did, but I can't really root against him in that regard. So I'll just leave it at that. In terms of Mysterio, at this point, just hang it up, man. I mean, if you feel like you can go out there and still do it, more power to you. But I mean, the guy's got knees like the Tin Man at this point. I mean, there's not much he can really do at with what he's got, and even his match quality when he was still actually having matches was just okay. I mean, I know he was great in the '90s in his heyday, but I've just never really been a big fan of later years Rey Mysterio. I think his matches are just passable at best. And if he can get money in AAA, if they're willing to pay up for him, fine, whatever. I know a certain other company that would probably love to get their hands on him, but we won't go into that because probably they won't be around by the time that happens. And in terms of Layla, it's obvious the reason why Konnan has trouble with her. It's the chubby legs.
Drew, your thoughts? Round us out here.
I love them chubby legs. Layla's a sweetheart. And yeah, there's that one. All I'm saying is if it was John Cena instead of WO in that situation, all I'm saying is John Cena would still have a job. Just saying.
What do you think about the Rey Mysterio thing?
No, Rey Mysterio hasn't wrestled in God knows how long. Can't remember the last time he did wrestle. Actually, no, he was at WrestleMania. Never mind. But yeah, Rey Mysterio, he's wrestled with a shirt on, even though he looks like he's in shape. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, "Fuck you, Mysterio! I would kill to have the body you have. Take the damn shirt off." And that's about it on Mysterio.
Alrighty, guys, hot tag's over with. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we will come back and start talking about SummerSlam 2014.